In this box, we have a new server rack battery to review, and it's a server rack battery brand that we've never tested on the channel. Let's get this thing cracked open and see what we got. Cables. Oh, this thing looks nice. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Sungold Power CoreX5 Pro 100 amp hour 51.2 volt server rack battery. We've never tested a Sungold Power battery on the channel. They make really high quality inverters. And actually, if you look right here, this is the main inverter I use for all my 12 volt battery testing. This thing is about 4 years old now, and it's an absolute tank of an inverter. I love it a lot. I figured it was finally time to try out one of their batteries, and I figured there's no better battery than this one because it was just released. This is their latest and greatest server rack battery. In the past, they have made other server rack batteries before, and from what I've heard, people have had pretty good luck with them, but this is their latest and greatest battery with all the newest features, and today we're gonna test it. 100 amp hours, 51.2 volts. They rate this thing at 100 amps continuous discharge and 95 amps continuous charge current. It weighs 95 pounds. It's equipped with a very advanced BMS with full communication, so we have all the communication ports right here. This can communicate with up to 15 of these in parallel. They can all talk to each other. You can also connect it to all the mainstream inverters, which we are going to test, EG4 and the Sungold inverter. We can test both of those in this video. It also has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth monitoring, so you can remote monitor the battery from a remote location to see how everything's doing if you have this in one of your systems. They say it uses tier 1 EVE cells in the construction of the battery, and we will see that when we go to take this thing apart once we're done testing it. And it also comes with a 10-year warranty, which is one of the best warranties in the market right now. That's part of the reason I like the EG4 battery so much, because you get a 10-year warranty, and that's a lot of peace of mind if you ask me. Now, these batteries can easily live longer than 10 years, so guaranteeing it for at least 10 years, I really like that. Now looking at the front of the battery right here, we have these really nice fold-away carrying handles that are already mounted, ready to use. We also have the brackets right here to mount this in a server rack, and they're held on with just 2 screws, so you can easily pop these off if you're not going to do that. But it's nice that they include them on there, ready to go. You have your main positive right here, main negative right here, and they're using Amphenol style connectors. Those are really nice because it's very easy to make your connection. The only downside is you have to have the Amphenol style connections if you want to make your own cables. But this battery actually comes with a set of leads already, so you don't even have to really worry about that. You have a main on and off breaker right here. This is going to be your main power button to turn on and off the BMS. We have a status for your state of charge, alarm, run, and on LEDs. All of your communication ports right here, and then of course our dry contact. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see what the screen looks like. Look, we have a nice color LCD. That's really nice. It looks very vibrant to the eyes, very clear and easy to read. It gives you remaining capacity, state of charge, your voltage, and your current. It also has warnings and protection symbols, but those are both 0 because we don't have any warnings or protections. Let's go through some of the menus and see what else we get. So right here to actually tell you pack number, I'm assuming that's if you put these in parallel, it'll count how many packs there are. Oh, it's got a password. Let me see if I can find the password. All right, well, I can't figure out the password for now, so this is all we're gonna be able to see, but I'm gonna figure that out, and we're gonna go deeper into the menus, and I will show you guys all the different menus that's in this LCD display. And it is nice that you can lock it, so if you have a bunch of these in a battery cabinet, maybe in a remote location or something, no one can go in here and start messing with stuff. On the top of the battery right here, you also have another label. This is kind of going over some of the same specs we already talked about. And then you also have a sticker for your Bluetooth Wi-Fi connection. So now I'm gonna go ahead and download the app, and we're gonna connect to this thing and see what the app looks like. I'm gonna show you guys everything that this battery comes with. These are gonna be the leads that you're gonna use to connect to another server rack battery. These are gonna parallel the battery together, along with a communication cable. Also get a very nice set of discharge leads with Amphenol connectors on one side and standard ring terminal connectors on the other, and these look very nicely made. So you can very easily use this thing right out of the box. Even if you're not using the Amphenol style connectors on anything you have, you're gonna have a set of leads ready to go. I really like that they include that because some batteries do not, and then you have to sit there and make leads. You also get a long inverter to battery communication cable, so that's also really nice to have. So this is gonna have everything you need out of the box to connect it to your inverter, get communications going, and you can start using the battery. Never used Amphenol style connectors before. They're very easy. You literally take them, you hear the little click, the connector's fully seated, and that's it. That's all you have to do. There's no torquing, guessing, or any of that, and you're gonna have a nice, safe. Not only that, it's also gonna be sealed up from dust and moisture. And then to take it off, you just simply squeeze the tab right here, and it comes right off, too easy. My apologies, my audio is gonna sound kind of weird for the first little bit of the video. I just realized my mic was turned off. Anyways, moving on. This is what the BMS battery app looks like. Go to local control while using the app. We did not have to create an account, which I really like, and it immediately picked up the battery. All right, taking a closer look at the app, you get a lot of information right off the bat: state of charge, current, voltage, reported capacity, full capacity, design capacity, cumulative, so it's actually gonna keep track of how much you use and cycle the battery. You get all your temperature sensors as well, and in max cell voltages, this thing is very well balanced. Let's see if we can get more information here. Okay, there we go. We can also see individual voltages of each cell, so that makes it very easy to troubleshoot if you're having any issues. What's also interesting is they're actually displaying the voltage in millivolts, so you have a very accurate voltage reading. Over to statuses, you get all your statuses that you'd ever want to know right here. And then it also looks like you can see all the information of all the batteries that you have connected to this thing, up to 15. If you have a bunch of these in parallel, you might be able to see all of them from the app as well by just connecting to the one battery. We're gonna go over to parameters. You can actually go in here and make changes as well. Here's where you can set your protocol for communication. So this is gonna be helpful when we go to connect it to our inverters. And this actually has a current limiting function. That's very interesting. Well, I'm really impressed. This is probably one of the most comprehensive battery apps that I've seen so far. I guess we're gonna go ahead and throw this thing on a charger, get it 100% fully charged so we can do our capacity test. One thing I did forget to mention is the price of this battery. Right now, these are selling for $1,150. So it is more of a premium server rack battery, but is not much more than the cheapest one. And you do get the peace of mind of the 10-year warranty. And once we're done testing this thing and take it apart, we're really gonna see if it's worth the money. And there we go, we're charging with about 17 amps. We're gonna let this thing fully charge and then we can get our capacity test going. But so far, this thing looks really nice. I really hope it tests good. Got our Sungold server rack battery fully charged. I think this thing has a coulomb meter to control the charging because whenever it reached 100, it actually shut the charger off. It didn't shut it off when it got to like 58.4 or whatever. This is gonna be the capacity meter we're gonna use to see how much capacity we get. The total amp hours is gonna be displayed right here. This is all reset, set to 100 amp hours. As far as a load, we're gonna use the Sungold Power 5,000 watt single phase pure sine wave inverter. I'm gonna connect a 1,000 watt battery charger to this. I'm trying to pull 20 amps on the DC side. That's gonna be a 0.2C discharge test. It's pretty cool. I have a Sungold battery with a Sungold inverter, so that's a first for me on the channel. And there we go, we're pulling about 21 amps. This should take about 5 hours to complete. Once it's done, we're gonna see the results. We just finished up the capacity test. We got a total of 101.38 amp hours. Next, we're gonna test the communication capability between the Sungold Power battery and the inverter. So I did go ahead and hook up the Ethernet cable, and now I'm gonna show you guys the settings that I had to change in order to get everything to work. So on the battery, I just left it out of the box as it is. We're plugged into the RS485 port on the battery. We are plugged into the RS485 port on the inverter. If we go through the settings right here, as you guys can see, we are showing state of charge. Sorry, it's a little bit of glare on the screen. All I had to do is set setting 32 to 485, setting 33 to wow, and that was it. And as soon as I did that, communications immediately started working. So now we have state of charge and all the information being displayed on the inverter. And that's really it. It was literally that easy to get it to work. No issues whatsoever. It took me maybe 30 seconds. You may have to look up what protocol your inverter has to run. We already showed you guys the EG4, that also worked very easily, no problems there. But if you're using a different brand of inverter that I didn't test, just make sure you look it up to make sure it's capable of communicating with these batteries. Most people out there have kind of tried everything, so I'm sure somebody out there has used the same setup as you're gonna use, and I'm sure they figured out how to make it work. Now I went ahead and installed the Sungold Power CoreX5 Pro server rack battery on our EG4 12,000 XP power cart. We're gonna be able to use this to test some high current discharges with this battery. It's gonna allow us to stress test the battery with this very large inverter, which can do up to 12,000 watts. Now, one of these batteries is not enough to max this out. This is just more to test the battery. And I'm also gonna test communications. So I have the Ethernet cable going to the inverter right now. I'm gonna go ahead and connect this thing to the battery. I went ahead and plugged it into the CAN port on the server rack battery. And on the EG4 inverter, we're actually using lithium battery setting 2, and that's all it took for this to work. And as you guys can see, we have state of charge right there. I also went ahead and went on the EG4 monitoring website with the 12,000 XP, and as you guys can see on the battery settings, it's showing everything, so it is communicating with the server rack battery, no problems at all, and we have all the advanced features that you can get with communication enabled, so that is pretty cool. It's really awesome how easy it is these days to get comms enabled. A lot of people like using communications, a lot of people don't, and I don't actually use it on my main 40-volt off-grid solar power system, mainly because I have so many different batteries. But if you're wanting to get communication functions working, at least if you have an EG4 inverter, it's gonna work perfectly fine. And these are also compatible with the Sungold Power inverters as well. And we literally only had to change one setting in the inverter and it worked perfect the first time right off the bat. Now my plan is to actually try to charge an electric car off this battery, but before we do that, I do wanna go ahead and take this thing apart and look on the inside. That way, while I have it apart, we're gonna run the test, and I'm actually gonna use a thermal camera to check all the connections and make sure nothing's getting hot. I'm gonna run this thing at 80 amps and just kind of see how the battery performs, make sure nothing overheats. Keep in mind this battery is rated up to 100 amps of discharge continuous. So running it on 80 amps should not be a problem. And the only reason I'm gonna run it on 80 amps is because it appears that the inverter is gonna limit the discharge to 80 amps. And how the BMS is configured according to the EG4 monitor app is it's going to allow up to 95 amps of discharge. So we are gonna push it to 95 amps and we're gonna monitor the temperature with the thermal camera and just see how this thing does and how everything performs. I do believe if you had a bunch of these hooked up to your system, you would never see 95 amps out of one battery, but if they're gonna rate it at 100 amps, it's good to see that it can handle at least 95. Now, first thing I noticed when I went to take the battery apart is it is built a little bit differently. The cover is actually not a separate piece. It looks like it's almost like a big sleeve. So we may actually have to flip this thing upside down to take it apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and power everything off. All right, I think I have the top cover loose, so this is just gonna lift off of here. All right, I got the case loose. Hopefully you guys can see okay. I did move under some little bit better lighting. So this case design is completely different from any server rack battery that I've taken apart. We're gonna go ahead and pop this off very carefully because there might be some stuff attached to it. And there's something right here. I think this is the antenna. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this over here so I don't rip that wire. So it was a really good first look at this battery, and right off the bat, this thing looks very advanced. Looks like they have their own custom BMS maybe. It doesn't appear to be an off-the-shelf one like we've seen in some other batteries. Here's our main positive bus bar coming out of the battery pack, connecting to this wire, going through our breaker switch, and then it connects to the output right there. The negative side comes out right next to it. They put this nice little divider to kind of keep those separated. And it goes through a really nice looking shunt. So this thing has an independent current shunt that's not just built into the BMS like a lot of other batteries do. So that should give you very accurate charge and discharge readings. It comes out of the shunt and it connects right here into the main circuit board of the BMS. So you have nice bolted terminals there. And then it's going to exit the BMS right there through these two wires. And that's going to connect to our main negative terminals. And right here is going to be the main circuit board for our display. And then another circuit board down there is going to be for the communications. Now looking at our balance harnesses, they're all labeled nice and neat. And it's a very nicely, tightly loomed balance harness that kind of follows the pack. And as you can see, it's wrapped up. It's zip tied up out of the way. And then they also have sheathing on all the wires to protect them. And those kind of run along the side. And the battery cells right here have metal end caps. So this metal piece is actually bolted to the bottom chassis piece. Same with the rear set of cells. So you have a group of 8 cells here. You have another group of 8 cells here. Some sort of protection material here. Maybe this is like a thermal barrier to keep the cells from getting any heat from maybe the top of the case or something. But that is some sort of interesting material there. It's not just plastic. And then along with our little end plates that are bolted there, there's also these very thick metal straps that run all the way along the battery. You can see it kind of run right here, and that's going to add some extra compression strength to the pack. And then you also have another strap down here. This is a plastic strap, and that's very, very tight. Here's what the inside of the cover that we pulled off looks like. You have these nice gusset supports here that's going to add a lot of rigidity to the top of the battery. That way this part right here isn't flimsy. And you can see how it's just a stamped out box, and it's pretty interesting. It's almost like a full box lid cover with a lower chassis, and it just bolts together. So like I said, it's a completely different design than what we've seen on the channel before. Pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these covers off right here so we can get a better look at the battery cells themselves. Oh, and with this cover removed, there's another insulated cover that they put over the cells, and they're actually below the bus bar. So what they do is they put all the battery cells, they lay this over it, and then they laser weld the bus bar. So there's not gonna be much more we can see without having to mess up this layer of plastic. But I do want to try to take a look at the cells to try to identify what kind of cells they're using. But the craftsmanship of this battery looks really good. The laser welds all look really nice. As you can see, balance wiring harness looks pretty good. You actually have welded, not soldered, balance wires. You have a temp sensor right there that's directly touching this bus bar, so it's going to be able to detect if this is getting hot. They're able to peel a little bit of this plastic back in order to check the battery QR code. And I'm very happy to report that they're using EVE battery cells, which are really good. And these battery cells are relatively fresh. They are from 2026. So that's definitely a good thing to see in a battery like this. And so far, everything about this battery looks really good. I really don't have anything bad to say about the build quality at all. Now keep in mind, I never tested the older Sungold Power batteries. So if anyone's ever taken apart their older series of batteries, maybe y'all can let me know if this has significantly better build quality or if it's about the same. Next, we're gonna run our simulated stress test. So the inverter and the battery, everything is turned on. We have a large 1450 extension cord cable here going to an EV charger. Follow the extension cord into the garage. I have the EV charger set to 20 amps. All right, there we go. It's connected to the vehicle. All right, looks like we're pulling a little too much. We're at 102 amps. We are overloading the battery just a little bit, but we're gonna let it run and see what happens. It's pretty crazy that we're putting almost 5 kilowatts into an electric vehicle with literally just one server rack battery. That's definitely not recommended, but it's amazing that this can pull it off, and it seems to be doing it just fine. That 5,000 watts. About 4,700 on the AC side. This thing's doing it no problem. It's not even fully charged. It's definitely gonna use the battery very fast running it this hard. All right, we're gonna take a quick overview of everything using our thermal camera. Hottest thing I'm seeing is only 114 degrees, which isn't crazy hot. Everything else is doing just fine. If we step back a little bit, you can definitely see some stuff that's warm, but nothing that's gonna be dangerous or burn anything out. In fact, if anything, the battery cables are gonna get the hottest because those are only 4 gauge. You can see a little bit of heat in all the battery cables. Kind of normal running 100 amps though. Yeah, everything else looks good. We've had this test running now for some time and the battery has not skipped a beat. I'm probably about to shut it off because we're already getting down to 39, 38% state of charge. The state of charge is dropping pretty quick. It's definitely using the pack up very fast, but the battery has had no issues. It has not cut out or anything. For those curious, the breaker's rated at 125 amps, which is why we haven't tripped this. Now, as far as tripping the 100 amp cutoff or the 95 amp cutoff, I would like to go into the BMS and see what it's actually set to, but there's a password and I haven't figured that out yet. So if I can figure that out, I'd like to go into the BMS and see what they actually have the high current cutoff set to. But so far we're able to pull over 100 amps pretty consistently and the battery doesn't seem to care. I've checked numerous times with the thermal camera. Nothing's getting crazy hot. Everything appears to be working perfectly. So this thing's an absolute unit of a battery. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude our testing of the Sungold CoreX5 Pro 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate server rack battery. As you guys saw, this thing passed all of the tests. Name brand cells, really nice, sophisticated, feature-packed BMS. Pretty much everything you could ask for in a server rack battery. It's also got a great warranty, and it's from a company that's been around for a long time, Sungold Power. I would actually feel pretty comfortable investing in a group of these batteries. As you guys know on the channel, we do review a lot of budget stuff. The initial process of getting the battery is always really smooth, but some people always have concerns about warranty. And honestly, you don't really know until you have to warranty it. But if Sungold's gonna back this thing up with their name and a 10-year warranty, I do believe that they will stand behind their product. Only time will tell how good this thing holds up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're using the Sungold batteries in your setups, please let me know the luck you guys are having. Share your experiences. Everyone and myself would love to hear about it. And I will be in the comments as always, responding to as many as possible. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you guys specifically want to see me do with this battery. And there is going to be an update with this battery whenever I figure out the password to the BMS. I do want to get into that. But let me know what you guys think. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. And we're getting kind of full of server rack batteries. I'm going to have to pretty soon build me a nice rack to hold all these batteries, because I would love to put this battery in service with the rest of my 48 volt off-grid solar power system that powers my whole house.